right choice every time. Still a job to be done and a race to be won, and we know we will win every time. Just keep the faith, heads up high. We're together in this, you and I. Yes, the job will be done and the race will be won, and we know we will win every time. And we go vote for the love of we country.
We go vote
to protect the treasury.
Vote
It's only Dr. Rowley, the right choice for TNT.
PNM
Is the choice, PNM is the voice, PNM all the way on election day is the right choice.
Welcome to Youth for Young. My name is Daniel Phillips, and I'll be the host for tonight's proceedings. With us, we have the most esteemed current candidate for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and the current MP, the Honorable Stuart Young.
Afternoon, everyone.
In studio today, we are joined with us 8 people. People from the constituency of Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, youths who have come here today to pose questions to our Honorable MP. On Zoom, we also have youths from all across the country joining us here to also pose their questions. I would like to thank everyone for joining us on Facebook Live. Right now, we will go over to our current chairman of Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, Chinua Allen. Chinua, are you there?
I'm right here, Daniel. Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. Welcome all of the young people in Trinidad and Tobago, and in particular, welcome to all of the youths that are living right here in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. This event tonight that was going live on Synergy is really important. We're really thankful to our honorable prospective candidate, Minister of National Security, Stuart Young. He's been our member of parliament for the past 5 years, and he's been doing an excellent job doing work for the community every single day. We're here speaking to a number of young people that are going to have the opportunity to ask Minister Young several questions, to really engage in a dialogue with him as he continues taking us on the path to progress, so that on Monday, the 10th of August, we all make the right choice. Again, thank you all very much for coming. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to turn it right back over to you, Daniel.
Okay, thank you for those wonderful words. Right now, I will turn to our MP to give his opening remarks.
Thanks a lot, Daniel, Chinua. Young people, I was young not so long ago, apart from him. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for making this a success. All young people have always been the future of the nation. 5 years ago, some of you would not have been eligible to vote. Some of you, this may be the first time that you're voting. Come August 10th, every single vote counts, and there's only one choice, the right choice. So vote for PNM. So today is all about me giving you the opportunity to ask me some questions, ask me anything that you want to do as we engage in a discussion, a full and frank discussion. Because the most important component of every election is always the young people. How do we engage the young people? Daniel, has become a lot more difficult with the advent of internet, social media, and all these types of things to really keep young people engaged. You have so many questions, and there's always need for this type of opportunity to engage and to connect with young people. You have a lot more information at your fingertips. Social media is a good and a bad thing. There's a lot of information flowing on social media, some of it true, a lot of it not true, but it influences all of our minds. This election, which is only 1 month away, today is the 10th of July, we go to the polls on the 10th of August. The young people are going to make a difference. You are the future of the nation. You are the ones who have to take over from us in the next round. You're the ones who we want to listen to, we need to engage with, listen to your frustrations, tell us what it's all about. This is your opportunity. I always look forward to these types of settings, to have vibrant conversation with young people. So thank you all very much for your time. I know Friday afternoon is a busy time. Also, let's not forget, we've just come out of a very difficult set of periods, not only financially, but dealing with COVID. COVID has not gone away. Fortunately, your government, a PNM government, has handled COVID very well, and we are amongst the best in the world in handling it, and that is what allows us to have the type of lifestyle we're currently having and how we're operating. So I'm here today to hear what's going on. I'm glad I asked all of you before, where are you from and what part of the constituency, areas that I'm very familiar with. So welcome and thank you for your time. Thank you once again. Daniel, thank you. Chinua, all of you viewing and listening persons, thank you all for logging on. Hopefully this is one of the first, and there's going to be a number of initiatives like this as you engage the young people, because I keep it really like playing with the lifeblood. So let's turn it right over to you, Daniel, and the youth, and let's get straight to it. Thank you all.
So tonight's event is not going to be a super formal one, so I want you guys to relax.
Please relax.
It is not going to be up at all. This is about having a conversation with our prospective candidate. And I want you guys to ask questions, that really mean something to you. I also want you to be not afraid to, pose anything that's on your mind. And I really hope that this session is an insightful one. And I want to talk to our viewers, even on Facebook Live, to leave in the comment section anything that you want us to answer here, and we'll pass it on. I have my pointer here, and we will get right to it. So if you have any questions, get them ready. Think about what you want to ask. I just have a couple of questions to start off with, to break the ice.
I don't have any ice in it.
So my first question to you, we all know you as the MP, as a minister. We've seen you in many forums. But, who really is Stuart Young? Like, what has your childhood, been like? What secondary school did you go to? Did you play any sports? Tell us a little bit about who you are as a person.
Well, thanks for that. I am normal, all right? So, I always smile when you hear minister and this type of thing. So, Stuart Young grew up in Dago Martin. I am one of 3 siblings. I have a younger brother, a younger sister, and I had a very happy, fruitful childhood. I was always involved in sports. I love sports. So I swam competitively. I played tennis. I played squash. I did have a black belt in karate. I got that black belt, I think, at age 12. And I played competitive sports, of course, cricket, football, rugby later on. When I went to university, I went to St. Mary's College, CIEC. My QRC friends here in the crowd wouldn't like that, but that's where I went. Had a great time. I was very involved in Sea Scouts. I think Sea Scouts did a lot to form me as a young man. And I was fortunate enough to be blessed with a level of intelligence. So school wasn't that bad. Went on to university. I went wall in the road, walk into the mall, doing what young people are expected to do. In those days, you didn't have internet. Internet only came when I was at university. So you had a lot more. It was always about reading and getting outdoors, playing sports, studying when you had to study, and that type of thing. So that was Stuart Young as a young person.
So after you went through this period where you were in secondary school and you did your law degree, how was the transition like from then into your work life when you got called to the bar?
When I was studying at the bar in London, I remember a friend telling me something, because I stayed at a halls where it was for Commonwealth students. So it was a hall, everybody there had to be doing a postgraduate. And one of them came up to me 9 months into the year and said, Stuart, I've never met somebody who's as patriotic as you are. I said, what do you mean? They said, you never stop talking about Trinidad and how great Trinidad is. So for me, I always knew I wanted to come home, even though there were opportunities to work in England. I was glad to come home and to start life back in Trinidad, and never had any thought whatsoever that I would end up in politics. All right, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I came back focused. I was very focused on career, and that's what I wanted to do, get on with my career. So came back, and it was not difficult getting back into Trinidadian society because I never left it. And doing the things that we all do, partying on a weekend, liming on a weekend. I remember when I was studying law, I would come back again, my parents probably listening, and I always had to work. Every vacation I came home, they would send me to work in a law firm. I remember sometimes partying all night, reaching home 4 o'clock,
1 hour sleep, 2 hours sleep, changing. And I'll tell you all something. At certain times, I would sneak off to the washroom during our working and take a little doze inside there, all right? But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of learning. I've always had an appetite to learn and to grow. But love Trinidad. So that's what it's all about.
So I guess my last question before I hand it over to you guys to ask your questions to the MP. How has it been, being a member of Parliament for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West? What is that like?
Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West is a lovely community. It's a great constituency to be the MP of, but we're very mixed, as you know. All right, I have actually spent the majority of my 5 years in the Belmont area and in the East Port of Spain area. I've continued to walk, as you know, throughout. So people sometimes in the Cascade, St. Anne's, St. Clair, which are other areas, complain, well, we ain't seen the MP, you forget us, you're only in Belmont, and these types of things. But it gave me a different perspective to see how we still have some people living in difficult times in Trinidad and Tobago and in difficult situations, and how can we, as the rest of society, help those people. But it is a very vibrant, we're in the city, right? We have the East Port of Spain, we're on the skirts of the city, there's always a lot going on, and to meet the characters, especially the older ones that you all would know, some of you all here, as you said, from up Gonzales, Belmont Valley Road. So in walking, you get to meet people, you get to know people. It's you, the young people, though. I keep saying, listen, where are the young people? Where are the young people in the PNM? We need to get more young people in. And that's what I want to find. How do we engage you, the young people, as a party, as a country, as a government, what it is that we need to do to keep your interest. It's real hard to keep young people's interests and to keep it going. And more importantly, how do you fit in to become the fabric of the future of Trinidad and Tobago? That's the important part for me. How do you feel engaged? It's not old talk. I don't like to waste time talking. What are the things that you all can do to contribute, to feel part of? What are the difficulties that you are facing? But Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and I say this without fear of contradiction, has to be one of the best, if not the best constituency. I've had a ball for the last 5 years. There have been difficult times. It's sometimes not easy sitting in the office, people coming, asking for jobs, asking for help, and I have no job. I have no job to give, but I will do the best. So coming into this, I'll tell you all something. In 2014, there were two things. I was not making promises. So no one can honestly say Stuart Young promised anything. But the promises that I was able to give, I will do my best, and it's not going to be the only time you see me. And that is what I've stuck to, all right? And that is how I've lived my life so far in politics, and I've just put my head down, done the work, whatever work was given to me, gone to Parliament to make contributions. Every time I make contributions there, it's on your behalf. I'm always proud to say I represent Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. And that's because persons like yourselves, I'm not sure how many of you all voted in 2015, you all looking so young, but I'm looking for your vote this wrongs in a month's time. But it's to give you the opportunity to speak through me. Even as a minister, I constantly tell the policemen, the fire services, prisons, I am their advocate. So I am going out there to say what it is you need to say. I am your mouthpiece. So it's just as being a lawyer is a different forum now, Daniel.
Yeah. All right, so now I would like to hand over to you guys to pose your questions. So I guess we could start with our first question. You want to ask your first question?
First question is coming from Khadijah. And as you would have pointed out, Minister, a major issue amongst the youth is that of unemployment. So apart from the existing OJT program, are there any other government agencies or divisions through which youth can seek employment?
That has been a major difficulty, right? Very often we in Trinidad suffer from our own success. So we are one of the only countries in the world that offer free education all the way to tertiary education. What that has done is given all of us, including you, the young people, the opportunity to get your qualifications. Of course, after you get qualified, what is there for you? So OJT is really supposed to be a stepping stone. And what I'd like to say to young people is, don't only focus on the government for jobs. There are other areas of employment there. Get your experience through the OJT and look out. And I was reflecting on it this afternoon as I exercised before coming here and thinking, one of the things as Minister of National Security I've enjoyed is going to passing outs. All right, passing outs is when you have people qualifying in the Coast Guard, in the regiment, in the Air Guard, in our prisons, in our police. And there are a lot of opportunities there still because we continue to need in the public service a lot of people. I mean, I'm smiling here as I think about the parliament. You have so many young people working in the parliament, and that it keeps the place vibrant. This morning, as I sat with a team at the Ministry of National Security dealing with the current thing of exemptions, and I looked around, there were so many young people there. So there's hope. I understand how frustrating it is. There's no magic one. Anybody who promises, like I smile when I hear people promise there'll be 50,000 jobs, that's old talk, all right? And then that's not the way. So what you need to do, first of all, as a person is think, what is it that I want to do? And don't get overly frustrated. I remember when I was sending out applications to get into law, you're waiting, and these types of things. Just press on. Put your head down, work to the best of your ability, pray to your God, and an opportunity will come. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Vishana, and my question to you, Mr. Young, is what advice would you give to a young person who feels like there isn't enough opportunities for them? A person who is from your constituency and feels lost going into the world of work, trying to find themselves in society out there?
It's not easy, and especially in today's world and today's society, there are a lot of harsh realities that you can face. What I would suggest is try and have a support base around you, all right? Your friends, choose your friends wisely. And also, when you get into these opportunities, one of the things that helped me tremendously throughout my career, and even before that, is people that you could look up to. They're going to be people with more experience that you can engage, you could talk to them. Because with age, I've learned, with age you get that experience and you go through life experiences, and if you're fortunate enough, you could pass it on. So you could come to me and you could say, Stuart, look, you know, going through this, I'm having a difficulty with my co-worker, I don't like how he or she is talking to me, or older person, etc. I've been through that. So I'll be able to tell you, okay, well, look, why you don't try this, why you don't try that? And always turn to God. I mean, that sounds cliche, but it is so true. Don't ever give up hope. There's always going to be somebody there who's willing to listen, somebody who's willing to help, and just dig deep inside and find that strength, because you have it inside there. And there are good days and there are bad days. I don't think there are many people who have served the limited time I have, 5 years in government, and taken more licks than I have, all right? And the attacks and this type of thing. They just press on. You know that you haven't done anything wrong, find it in yourself and press on. Yes, ma'am.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
My name is Shania. My question is, being a lawyer, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to go into law, or for anyone interested in taking on responsibilities in their communities and country like what you did?
All right, so that's two questions. Being a lawyer, to me, it comes down to hard work, but that transcends into anything you want to do. So I used to work until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and think, well, if I prepare my case and the other lawyer is sleeping, I'm going to get into court tomorrow morning with an advantage because I would have done more work than them. So the first piece of advice, never be afraid of hard work. No matter what it is you're doing, give it your all. You're going to reap the rewards. There's our old people saying, you reap what you sow. That is so true in the professional world and in the line of work. You put in the hard hours, you do what you have to do, and then you will get there. Remind me, what was the second part of your question? Again, old.
It was anyone who interested in taking on responsibility
In the community. For my second term, I want to engage young people more to build out those groups, right? So that's where people like Daniel and stuff hopefully will come in on yourselves. What is it that we could do in the community? What is it that we can do? And I've done quite a lot of that in Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West. I'll tell you a quick story. In 2014, there was a certain part of our constituency in St. Francois Valley Road, Upper Belmont Road, up Mackay side, where they said, look, don't go in there, don't go and walk in there. Rubbish. Went in, they never had running water. In the 5 years, one of the best accomplishments was bringing running water to there and getting into the community and working with the community. They got their court, we lit up the court, but just going back there and doing the community and seeing a community that thought they were forgotten, that nobody wanted to deal with, seeing what happened. The young lady in the back who said she's from Shafford, your community center at Shafford as well was one of the areas that I focused on, worked with some of the people there, Mr. Telemark and some others. We got it up and running. And you see how those small projects in the larger scheme of things are big projects in the small communities. One of the things I want you young people to do with me in this next term is help me with homework centers. I have a vision and a dream for younger students, especially ones in primary school. Let's give them the opportunity. Because sometimes when they leave school and they're going home, there's no one there to supervise them with their homework. No one there to supervise them, help me, some small goal football, something, get the energy burning. That's how I grew up, always playing sports after you do your homework, etc. Those are the times, and you'll be surprised. I'm sure with each and every one of you, there will be a couple moments in your life where somebody told you something at a young age that resonated with you and continued to be with you through the rest of your life. You all could be that change for the young people in our communities. There's a lot of people out there, who are looking for hope because they feel, boy, I am stigmatized, especially in our constituency, some of our areas. They say, boy, I ain't East Port of Spain, this. I've been looking at so many comments. What is it that we could do to help the ones even younger than you are, and for me to help the ones like yourself, for us to get out of that stigmatism? What is it that we could do that are positive? And it has happened. I've seen it. I've seen it with some of the communities I've worked with in Port of Spain North. So any young person that wants to come forward and help us and to form those types of projects in terms of let's set achievable and attainable goals. What is it? Okay, let's help these 5 children with SEA. Let's help these 5 children with football. Whatever it is, those are the types of things, and you'll be surprised the kind of differences those will make.
Okay, before we go on, we have a question from our Zoom audience. If we get that question now.
See technology.
Okay, this is from Alicia. Alicia, what is your question?
Person who is interested in politics to study political science.
Can you repeat that question? We didn't get the first part of it.
Would you recommend a young person who is interested in politics to study political science?
Would I recommend what? That he or she pursues a career in politics? All right. The study of political science, let me try and understand your question, Alicia. The study of political science is the academic side. So it's going to provide you with a platform, it's going to provide you with an understanding of some of the natures of politics. But the only way to get a proper understanding is you have to dive in. One of the things I can tell you, a great party for that is the PNM, and there's no old talk. Especially under Dr. Rowley, has given a lot of young people the opportunity. So you look at the councillors for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, all of them are young people. So there are opportunities in the People's National Movement for persons who want to pursue or who have an interest in politics. That's one of the great things about our party, Daniel and others, right? You join your party group, you start to learn about it. You get to interact with your MP, you get to interact with the constituency executive. So there are a lot of opportunities, and it's an inclusive party that give people the opportunity.
Okay, we have one more question on Zoom. If we get that question now. So this is from Adiola. So Adiola, you're on. Adiola, are you there?
Hi, you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Sorry, my background is a bit noisy. We've been through one of the worst pandemics, right? Challenges our country has seen some times, right? With our government leading the way and continue to lead through this difficult pandemic. We've been through, right? I'm just wondering, Minister, how do you feel looking back at everything?
How do I feel?
You're looking back at everything,
you heard
the
me?
pandemic and COVID.
I have, yes.
Yes.
I have to
Sorry.
smile. I mean, I've been blessed with a lot of experiences in this last 5-year term, right? And the COVID is just one of them. So I could remember every step of the way when the Minister of Health came to speak to me, and then we went to the Prime Minister to brief the Prime Minister on this thing that was happening in China at the time. So that was in January. Fortunately, we took the advice of the medical experts and our scientists, and that's what has us where we are today. COVID has taught me as an individual a lot. I actually call COVID, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, I call it the equalizer. And I think a lot of people are missing the lesson of COVID. All right, my personal philosophy is COVID was sent here to teach us a lesson that everybody is equal. So no matter how wealthy you are as a country in the world, hint, hint, look how that's being handled. No matter how poor country you are in the world or how insignificant, all of us. So COVID doesn't respect race, it doesn't respect religion, it doesn't respect age, it doesn't respect how much money you have in your bank account, how little money you have in your bank account. So I look at it from the philosophical side. It's also taught me a lot about human nature. And when everybody was fearful about what this thing could do, they may have been a lot more willing to listen. But now, because fortunately in Trinidad, we don't seem to have it in our community, so we're able to open up a lot more, people are pushing the boundaries, right? And it's all now about our protection of borders and how we continue to protect the borders. So it's been a good example of human nature, and it's really shown, to be honest, how a PNM government can handle things. I have to come back to you because I have thought about it, and I've thanked God that we were the people in charge at this stage and will do the right thing, take the right decisions for everybody. We never thought, okay, this one and that one. No, it is for Trinidad and Tobago, and that was a great thing.
Okay, your question.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. My name is Simone.
Simone.
Firstly, before I ask my question, I'd like to thank you and by extension the government on your COVID response.
Thank you.
My question has to do with education and the youth, right? At the beginning of the lockdown, schools were closed, forcing students home. What impact do you think that has had on students?
It's obviously had an impact, but that's why I call it the equalizer, because every student would have been faced with the same thing. It has pushed online learning, all right? It's pushed now in an age where everybody is accustomed to online. I pull back from that a little bit. Are people now going back to the books? So it has affected education, it has affected learning, but it's affected everyone across the board. The question now in my mind is how do we come out of that? So I have some young children. So I look at them and I saw one of them focus on his online, the other one, his school not doing as much online, but still focus. And I worry. So then I start to worry about in our constituency, in our community, what about those who don't have the opportunities as others, don't have that online connectivity? And this is again where we have to come together now. This is what can we do as a community to help them. So the obvious answer is everybody in education would have been affected. You're seeing what's happening in other areas of the world up to university level and this type of thing. How do we prepare our children now to go back to school? The SEA students, as a government, that was a big decision for us. What do we do with SEA? You know, I have family who are in the SEA year. So you just know how it's affecting everyone. And we have to find a way to come out of it and to press on. Thank you, Simon.
Okay, we have another question on Zoom. Dennis, are you there?
Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening.
MP, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Dennis.
You told us you would have served as an advocate attorney. Can you tell us a bit about your transition from private life to public life? And in hindsight, is there anything that you would do differently? Would you stay in private life and forget about government service?
Dennis, you're setting me up, man.
Sure. And my second question is, Minister, in the 5 years, you've held a number of ministerial portfolios. The Prime Minister has reposed a lot of trust and confidence in you. Can you tell us about your experience as a Minister of Government, the highlight of that experience? I don't know if you'd want to mention which ministry, and what would have been the lowest point of your time serving as a government minister?
Dennis, I want to meet you afterwards. All right. I could have never imagined the transition from private life to public life. All right. it's been different for everyone. I seem to have fallen into a unique category. It has been a quick catapult from a private life, quite a private life, into a public life. You have to roll with the punches. I've had to roll with the punches. But one thing is, I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know I always do things the right way, and I always do things for Trinidad and Tobago. So that gives me a great solace. It hasn't been easy being subject to the attacks. It hasn't been easy when you hear people lying about you publicly, when you're being attacked so openly and publicly, but I guess that's part of it. The other question you asked me about the highlights. Yes, I have been fortunate that a lot of trust and confidence was reposed in me over the 5-year term. As a result of that, I got a lot of opportunities. I think the highlight is one category for me. Being able to use the skill set that I had as a lawyer for 16 plus years before getting into politics for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So to be able to go out there and fight on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago and negotiate in the energy sector and to negotiate other deals for Trinidad and Tobago, to me that's the highlight. Because when I see what is coming down the pipeline and how we've changed things and how we've managed to be ahead of that curve in certain areas and really push people. I mean, we've had it said to us that they've never had such a competent team, especially in energy, dealing with them on behalf of the government. Those are the highlights for me, the ability to make changes. Another real highlight for me is what we call the NIF, taking assets, forming it into something that every person on the street can own a part of. Because traditionally what a government would do is they would sell the shares. And once you sell the shares, that's it. You get the money, the government spends the money, next day the shares are lost. And I remember envisaging, well, what about the future? And it was the young people that came into that. I want to be able to form something with the government that down the line, the next generation would still have assets. So it sounds simplistic, but those are some serious achievements because no government really did that in the way that we did before, and it was oversubscribed. And then also in national security, having the opportunity to affect lives, as difficult as it is. I'm not going to say which ministry. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be given a lot of opportunities and a lot of responsibility all over the place, and earn the name what? Minister of everything, and this type of thing. But it's wherever I'm placed, wherever I'm put, I'll give the best.
Okay, yeah. What's your question?
My name is Omar Patterson.
Hi, Omar.
My question to you is similar to LaShawn. Like youths in the community who do have a goal and do have a dream, what advice you could give to them?
Who don't have
a goal or a dream, what advice you could give to them?
Everybody have to have a dream. You have to have a dream is whether, you know, you push yourself to attain it. I know how difficult it is. I've come across enough persons in the last 5 years with those struggles. I want everybody here to know, and those who are looking and listening to us, every single person has struggles. You may look and you may see, look, you see Stuart Young here, I don't worry in the world, he have no struggles. Far from the truth. I am a human. Anybody who tells you differently, not telling you the truth. As I said a short while ago in a previous answer, find that support group. Nobody has to carry it on your own. Reach out, find a way. Life presents opportunities sometimes in strange things, strange ways. So you may say, okay, I want this door, so I want this in life, and then that door closes on you. But it's not the end of the world. As you turn around, you may see another one, and go through there. Never give up hope. So don't say you don't have hope, you don't have dreams. That's the first issue. I understand the difficulties, the struggles, the reality. So it is, what do I need to do to better myself? Where is the opportunity? And come and see the MP, come and see. You never know what may be able to happen, but don't ever give up that hope. All right?
So I have a question here from Facebook, in the Facebook comment section. So if you have any questions, you could just post it in the comment section. This question is about schooling. So the question reads, people who have not finished schooling, are there opportunities available for them?
The answer is yes. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. So one of the things we've been given a lot of thought to, not everybody is academically inclined, all right? And that's all over the world. So what about the vocational courses? So we have things, there are a lot of vocational courses on offer, you know, not only at COSAT and UTT and MIC and some of these places, but also in the Ministry of National Security, two of the great programs are MLAT and CCC, Citizens Conservation Corps. And going to the graduations of these programs and seeing how young people's lives have been affected. So some of them who didn't finish school and then they allow the opportunity in that setting to then finish school, to be school, and to see them wear uniform and wear uniform with pride. So there are these programs in the government. Those are the two that fall under me. We've started working along with the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, Ministry of Gender and Child Affairs, to bring out some other programs in the next term and offer more opportunity.
Okay, well, we have another question here on Zoom. Daniela, are you there? Hello, Daniela.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
And we see in your yoga pose too.
So, Minister Stuart Young, he spoke about having a strong support base. So, looking at it from a psychological standpoint, what resources are there in place in terms of counseling or mentoring for youths who come from a household without much structure or a lack of emotional support from transitioning to adolescence to adulthood?
That is an excellent question, and that is something that has bothered me throughout. So at the Ministry of Education, I know there are a lot of social support workers there. In fact, I think a couple of our counselors in Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, Bina and Nicole, fall into that category. So first of all, start off with your school. Who in school can offer that support? Go to the teachers, go to the principal, etc. I know it's not difficult. I mean, I remember being a teenager and, as you're growing up and you're having all these different thoughts and where do I fit in life and these types of things. The Ministry of Health has also taken a decision that they're going to focus a lot more on mental health and wellness. So I'm hoping that will rise as well. The Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, Minister Cujo, has been pushing getting these mentor programs into our schools, and I think that's big. In fact, I have spoken to the heads at National Security, Commissioner of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, Commissioner of Prisons, and others, and told them we need to get into the schools as well, because that has a big part to do with crime. All right, so let us get into the schools, show that they're good role models, let people think positively about law enforcement and authority figures and these types of things. And you never know, as I say, something may click in there and they say, look, I want to be a soldier, I want to be a police, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a prison officer. So in terms of the support base, first of all, reach out in your community, what more can be done in the community. But then there are support bases in our educational system. And then outside of that, I mean, again, you could reach out to us at the MP's office and we will see what we could do, because I know also at social development there's certain programs as well.
Yeah. So next question.
Hi, good night. I'm Nkosi James, and my question to you tonight is, one of the key issues young people notice.
I hear you.
One of the key issues young people noticed in the last election was the flagrant use of Cambridge Analytica playbook by those opposed to PNM at that time. There were many attempts with respect to voter suppression, especially young people. What would you say to young people who may be discouraged about voting and protecting themselves from misinformation?
The last time I spoke about Cambridge Analytica, it was another wave of attacks on me, right? So thanks for that question. Listen, it was real. With social media now and data gathering and data analytics, and Cambridge Analytica in particular, though the UNC can't convince us otherwise. We know you had someone who is totally unconnected with Trinidad tell the world, more than one person, that the UNC used Trinidad as a guinea pig with Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica and UNC use us, the people, as guinea pigs. What they do is they follow what you're doing on social media. They then start to sow seeds of doubt into your head. They then try to suppress, well, look, boy, don't go and vote, because I have nothing there for you. I have read out in certain forum very disturbing international articles where Cambridge Analytica really broke it down to race. All right? So they said Trinidad and Tobago is East Indians and Africans. And if you want to suppress the Africans, this is what you do. And that bothered me. So you, the young people, understand you have to go out and vote. You have to go out on August 10th and vote. Everybody has to go out and vote. That is one of the most important things you do. That gives you a right now to say, Stuart Young, look, I participated in elections. These are the things we need to address. Not to say, I need this, I need that, but there are people in other places in the world who had to die to vote. We have that opportunity here in Trinidad. Please, I am asking all young people, don't underestimate the power of that finger. Come August 10th, there's only one choice, the right choice, that's the PNM, and there's no old talk. You have to go out and vote. Do not allow anybody to get into your psyche about what was done for you, what wasn't done for you. That's not the right reason. Think about all of you in a few years' time. Next 10 or so years, you'll have your own children. And what is the future? What the PNM has done traditionally, we are the ones who push the education. Granted, first of all, primary school, secondary school, tertiary school education, and these opportunities. I come back to the COVID. If it was not a PNM government managing this country and making the hard, decisive decisions, I don't know where we would be. So please, I am appealing to all young people, to everyone who's looking on today. Come the 10th of August, go out there, go out and vote. Exercise your constitutional right to elect the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. Put your X next to the Balize. There's only one choice, and that's the right choice, and that's a PNM government. Thank you, sir.
So we have another question on Zoom. We could get that now.
Hi, Minister. So I have been a standard bearer of PNM policy and programs all of my life, having benefited from GATE.
So they're not saying your name?
Oh, this is Kiwina. Hi, Kiwina, Roberts.
I know that.
Sorry. Yeah, so I am so fortunate as well as I continue my education. I got a scholarship to go abroad to do my PhD, and I'm there now. And while I am there, I have piloted a after-school mentoring program where we ride bikes with inner city youth who come from depressed communities and impoverished homes. And we got the support of a lot of corporate organizations and NGOs to support us in purchasing bikes. And we have done significant research to see the overwhelming impact that this is having on the behavior, the outcome of youth. I have tried to attempt a similar project in Trinidad, and it is very difficult with getting corporate sponsorship and other support. Is this a type of program that you think would be beneficial in your constituency going forward?
That's a no-brainer.
Would it be something that you are willing to put your name on or stamp your name on as an after-school mentoring program on bikes? Because we have all of the infrastructure and facility within the East Port of Spain area and the Savannah. So it is not an issue of logistics, it's just about getting the support from the constituents and corporate Trinidad and Tobago.
That is easy as a turn to the youth here. That's a no-brainer. The answer is yes, I was going to beg you, bring it to Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West. Now, Trinidad is a little different. I am not sure about the affordability of bikes. I cycled as well. So one of the sports I did competitively and at quite a high level is triathlon. So triathlon is swim, ride, run. So I have cycled on the road and these types of things for many years. It is something I would be more than willing. In fact, I'd be thrilled if we could get going. But also from an affordability point of view and maybe the spread of the limited money we may get, maybe it is, again, I come back to football, cricket, because those ways we can get even more people. And I've had that vision right there, as you say, at the bottom, in the middle of Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West is the Savannah. I would love to get the bike thing going, but we can also look at other areas, rugby, cricket, football. Those are things that I did as well. So I would be more than willing. In fact, I would love to pilot something like that. So don't wait to finish your doctorate. Come and help us set it up.
All right, we have another one on Zoom. Kernisha. Kernisha, are you there?
Hi, good
Hi.
night. You all hear me?
We are.
Loud and
Yeah,
clear.
hi. Hi, good night, Minister Young. Hi,
Hi.
your team and the participants.
Good night.
Um,
Aye.
good night. You spoke about asset sharing earlier on. My question is more geared towards how the government can help the youth build assets, more so in the arena of home ownership. Well, we're aware that the real estate sector is more or less more so unregulated. I am aware that legislation was recently passed and we're hoping to see more regulation, but other than hoping for a chance in the lottery as the HDC draw, what can we expect the government, will the government have any other programs or anything to assist the youth in gaining some home, attaining a home? Because the market is really tough.
It is. The answer is yes. All right. So what we have done as this administration is we've identified parcels of state land, and in fact, in the past few months, planning for the next 5 years, we've identified a lot of parcels of state land, and part of it would be to set up infrastructure so persons could get lots of land and this type of thing that you can then build on. It is extremely difficult. It is very daunting for young people. How am I going to be able to afford my house? How am I going to be able to provide a future? So these are things we're conscious of. HEC can't be the be-all and the end-all and the only solution. There are over 174,000 applications inside HDC. So I often wonder, as young people, how do you all have the opportunity to get out there and earn? So we have to find more ways. The first thing we've done is identify there's a lot of land in Trinidad and Tobago, and let's get the infrastructure there. Let's find ways to assist with that. So it is not an easy thing, but it is something we're very conscious of.
Yes. Okay, we'll have the next question.
Good night, Minister Young.
Good night.
My question to you is, for young persons like myself aspiring to become entrepreneurs, can you tell me what measures, programs, etc. are in place to assist along the way, and some advice that you would give to them?
Absolutely. I mean, the state agency that falls under is NEDCO. So NEDCO is an agency that can offer small loans for people who have these entrepreneurial dreams and ideas. But again, that's an area we need to focus on, because a big part of that is mentorship. So I envisage a mentor program where young entrepreneurs could go and they could say, Daniel, sure, look, I have this idea. And you could say, okay, well, look, the first thing you need to do, let's incorporate a company. Let's open a bank account. Have you thought about where your market is going to be? Have you thought about how you're going to be able to save, keeping some to reinvest in, and all these types of questions. And to me, a big part of that is mentorship. So that is something that the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs is focused on, and they need to focus some more on. But in my view, we need to tie it into education as well. So in the next term, some of the things I'd like to suggest for education. One, a class on ethics. We have to teach our young children again right from wrong. We can't assume that will be learned in a home, because you have a lot of homes where it might be a single parent, and that single parent is struggling, having to work all the time and not giving the care and guidance that they would like to give to their children. So let us take that on now to just teach. Two things is what I would like young people to be taught: what is right and what is wrong, and some sort of financial prudence, because that's something you use. In my days, they used to have junior achievement. I remember that's the first time you got a bank card. And that taught you, when you get a little money, put it in the bank. Keep saving. So just those simple lessons, we can't take it for granted that anyone is learning that, because you don't wake up one morning and know those things. And it's the same thing for our young entrepreneurs, because that's the way to go. One of the good things about COVID is you saw a lot of these entrepreneurial spirits jumping up. I mean, one of the things, and I could say it now because they're gone, but when they started selling doubles in packaging in a gas station, I mean, that was a great thing. You're seeing Shark and Bake now, and the San Richards has come down to St. James. That's a good thing. So what is it that we can do outside of the box? And there's a lot of opportunity outside there. What is it that I, as a young person, can do that nobody else is doing, or others are doing, or a group of us? I remember when I was in school, I formed an investment club. At 14 or 15, we couldn't buy shares ourselves, but you had to get the parents, and that's how you learn. So these are the types of things that we have to do and push.
So I'm just going to read a couple Facebook comments here. So, great advice, MP. I love the mixture of the audience. One of the hardest working ministers.
Thank you.
Very good program. Congrats, Minister and Youth.
Yeah, thank you all very much. You all been a real good audience.
We also have a question. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment and biggest disappointment over the past few years?
You all come back with that? You want to nail me? The accomplishment has to be that I could look back, I could walk out of this now, I can leave now and think I have done something for Trinidad and Tobago, something meaningful. I have given sacrifice and been given the opportunity and the privilege to represent Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West. For me, that's the biggest achievement. I never thought I would be in politics. I never thought I would have these opportunities. Just to be able to, okay, again, like with COVID, one of the things that I was very happy about is being able to, out of my own pocket and then also from begging people, be able to assist people who were really in need, you know, something as simple as a hamper, and not take those things for granted. So being able to help people is always, I was walking 2 days ago and I saw this guy in his gallery. I didn't know him from Adam, so I'm speaking to him. He said, Minister Young, you don't recognize me? I said, no, sir. And he said his name. And he said, I will never forget you. I said, well, why? He said, you helped me to be able to go away with my grandchildren. And I remembered what it was in December of last year. Someone reached out. I don't know who the person is. Said, look, my passport has expired and I'm supposed to be taking my grandchildren on a holiday. Da, da, da. I said, okay, no problem. And it didn't matter to me who the person was. I was able to help the person get their passport. So you see, those types of stories, those are the achievements, and that's what I feel good about. There were a lot of disappointments, and I'll leave it as that. You know, there were a lot of tough times and disappointments. One of the things I will say, though, that disappointed me greatly is seeing some of the human behavior that I've witnessed over the last 5 years. And the thing that you mean, and I'm referring to the opposition, they could really go out there and just wake up on a morning and make up a complete lie. So a person would just have a program where they're going to lie to people, they're going to attack people. And I think that's one of the greatest disappointments to me, that people would stoop so low and as humans attack other humans the way that I've seen attacks happen.
Okay. I think we have another question on Zoom. So Daniela, are you there? Daniela? Hello? Well, I guess
this reminded me of the health press conferences.
I guess we lost Daniela there. I guess we'll go on to the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Marianne.
Hi,
So my question to you is, what are some of your plans or some of the priority issues you intend to address for the advancement of the youths for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West?
Open door, all right? Because I don't pretend to know for a moment what is it that the youth really want or need as a priority. Resources are limited, so it's an engagement of the youth. In this next term, I really, really want to persuade you all and your friends and stuff, come and let us talk off camera, let us have more discussion about what are some of the things that can be done. I can't do it alone. The best achievements are the ones where we work together, and I've seen that, as I say, in Shafford and Mackay and some of the other areas of the constituency, working along with the community. So what is it that the older ones can do for the younger ones? What can I do for the younger people? Okay, we might be able to give you a job, but maybe, as you were saying, there's some entrepreneurial idea that you all may have. I don't know what it is. I mean, I remember in the community, we had some persons from the Harp breeding tilapia, and I did all I could to help them with the breeding of tilapia. There are opportunities in agriculture. I mean, nobody likes hard work anymore, apparently. But what are the opportunities we could find? What is it that we could do? Our constituency has the most panyards. I had this vision that we would start on a Saturday night once a month throughout the constituency, and bring the rest of the country to Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West with a roving panyard line. So one Saturday a month, everybody converges on one of the panyards, their entity. That will itself break out entrepreneurs, because you'll have somebody selling the corn soup, you'll have somebody selling this, selling that, and after a while I have a vision that it will build up. That could then lead into a whole tourist sector. And these, so there are a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. I want you, the young people, to come forward and say, Mr. Young, this is Mr. Stuart, this is what we need to do, this is what we want to do, how can you help us? And these types of things.
Okay, I think we have another question on Zoom. So Dennis, are you there?
Minister.
Yes, sir.
Hello. You hear me?
We're hearing you, yes?
Yes.
Yes, Minister. So we've heard about, my final question, we've heard about your work in the Ministry of National Security, but one thing I want to ask about is you were also Minister in the Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs. Can you tell us a little bit about the government's legislative agenda from 2015 to present, what we were able to accomplish, and that more so in the context of those pieces of legislation that directly impact young people and opportunities for young people?
Dennis, I ain't taking no more questions from you. We had a very robust legislative agenda. A lot of it was driven to improve the court system, the criminal justice system. So that didn't really directly impact young people. We're doing a lot of work in the fight against corruption. So I guess the spin-off impact of that is making Trinidad a better place for our young people. I mean, there was the passage of the cannabis legislation, but again, that affects everyone. So I can't really pinpoint for young people there was this specific legislation, because I think that's more programs, that's more what is it that we can do to work with young people. And that didn't really come into focus too much on the legislative side. I mean, we were more fixing the criminal justice system and other areas.
Dennis, are you still there?
I just say I'm not giving Dennis another chance.
Like he had something else to say.
No problem.
Hi, Dennis.
Minister, since I've been able to ask the hard questions, I also wanted to take the opportunity to really and truly commend you for the yeoman service that you've done for the Republic. You have presented yourself as an example to young people of youth. Well, I mean, you're still relatively young, so
I am.
Of youth being able to make a significant contribution in a multiplicity of portfolios. And I think that a number of young people would look up to you for leadership going forward 2020 and beyond.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I really appreciate those sentiments.
So, Minister, any closing remarks as we wrap up?
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you all very much for your time this evening. Thank you all for agreeing to come here and spend this time with me, because I know there are a lot of other things that you could be doing on a Friday. 1 month from now, please go out there, talk to all your friends, tell your friends they have to exercise their franchise. Come the 10th of August, which is exactly 1 month away, we need to go to the polls and we need to resoundingly tell this country that you're giving the PNM another 5 years to continue the work that we've been doing. You can't achieve and accomplish it all in 5 years, especially with the financial difficulties we faced. But I think we've shown the country that we are about country and we're about everyone. And I'm asking you all, there's one choice, the right choice. On the 10th of August, 1 month from now, go out, put your X next to the Balize. And then after that, come and engage me. Come and engage me as your MP for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, and I mean that. And let's have some youth forum, let's have some discussions, but I don't like the talk. Come to me with the ideas. People can come with complaints, but always come with a proposed solution, because that's the way we'll take it forward. Don't give up hope. There's always hope. Have your dream. Dreams are up there. We're not always going to hit our dreams. We're not always going to achieve all of our dreams. But the journey to get there, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to have a lot of experiences. There is always hope. Remember that. It might be exactly where you're looking, but there is always, always, always hope. All right? And God continue to bless you all. Daniel, thank you very much for putting this together. I'd like to thank everyone, and in particular, our audience, all of those who took the time out to view, to look on, all of those who put this together. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough. And thank you for the opportunity to represent Port of Spain North St. Anne's West in the last 5 years. I look forward to another 5 years. And I came into this thing young, and I'll go out with the name Young. So thank you all. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, I'd like to thank you, MP, for being here. Really appreciate you coming and answering all these questions,
My pleasure.
And I would also like to thank the chairman of the Port of Spain North St. Anne's West constituency for also being here and giving a few words. I would like to thank you all, panelists, for being here even on Zoom, and those who tuned in to the Facebook Live. Thank you all for showing your support, and even the Port of Spain North St. Anne's West Youth League for assisting me, being my team, in putting this together, and even the director, Christian, and the technical team here at the studio.
I'd like to thank Synergy. I agree with you, Daniel. How could I forget Synergy? I have a history with Synergy, as I was telling them, even with the construction of this studio and the vision of making this studio a reality. Thank you, Synergy, as well. Daniel, team, young people. 10th of August, right? I look out it and encourage all your friends, all your family. Let's go to the polls and let's show them that we haven't given up hope. We have plenty of hope left in us. Okay? Thank you.
Yes.
All will be fine. Look, we made the right choice every time. Still a job to be done and a race to be won, and we know we will win every time. Just keep the faith, heads up high. We're together in this, you and I. Yes, the job will